Hey everyone, I'm a small lizard, and today we'll be looking at this particular example to illustrate and to show you guys how we can apply the multiplication and addition principle. So there are 4 red beads, 1 white bead and 1 green bead in the back. What is the probability that the first bead chosen is red? Alright, so this should be very simple. You think about it, there are 6 beads in total and there are 4 red beads. So I guess the probability should be very simple, right? Out of 6, you want 4. So simplify to lowest term as you should, 2/3. Part A, very simple. Now, part B. If 2 beads are, now importantly, the first keyword to take note of is without replacement. So what do you mean by without replacement? So without replacement basically means that you draw 1 and you hold it. You're not going to put it back. Then you draw the second one and then that's your 2 beads drawn. Now the key thing is, when you draw things without replacement, you can kind of imagine that, hey, alright, if initially I had 6 beads, after I draw the first one, I'm only left with 5. Alright, so this is called without replacement, and you need to take note of that. Alright, because it's very different from part C where there is replacement. And I'll talk about that soon. Okay, so let's solve part B first. 2 beads are drawn without replacement. What's the probability that 1 red and 1 white bead is chosen? So if you think about it, the first bead, right, is we want 1 red and white. Okay, so you can really do the tree diagram if you need to, right? So the first time you can get either red, white, or green. Then from here we get red, white, or green again. Red. Alright, for white there's only red or green because, well, you cannot have any more white beads since you're taking out without replacement. And then for green, you're only left with red and white. You notice that to get 1 red bead and 1 white bead is over here, right? You have red, white, and then over here again where you have white, red. Alright, so now you know there are 2 different ways to do so. Alright, first up, let's look at the first path, red then white. So the first bead we chose is red, so there are 6 beads in total, we want 4, so 4/6. Once you take out 1 red bead, we are left with 5. Alright, take note because we want to do without replacement. And there's only 1 bead out of 5. So let me just write this better. So we have 1/5, so we have 4/6, or rather 2/3 times 1/5. So this will give us 2 out of 15. Now white then red, so first we have 1/6 and then we have 4/5. Again, 1/6 times 1/6 times 4/5 is the same story, 2/15 as well. Combined together, because now there are 2 paths, we're now going to apply the addition principle 4/15 for part B. Alright, now another way to do it is actually very simple. Because you know that, well, you can either be red, white, or white, red. And because when we want to find each individual cases, it's the multiplication principle. It doesn't really matter, alright? Because let's say we have 4/6 times 1/5. It's the same as 4/5 times 1/6. Alright, so initially, so what we can really do is, well, 4/6 times 1/5. Since there are 2 possible ways, we just times 2. Alright, and then we get the same answer, 4/15. Alright, but of course this only works if both cases are the same, have the same probability. Alright, so take note of that. Alright, so that's the part of us applying both the multiplication and addition principle. Let's look at part C now where there is replacement. So when there's replacement, it's actually very similar. We have 6 beads, we draw the first one, we then put it back. And we'll start with 6 beads again for the second one. Alright, so what's the probability that 2 red beads are chosen? So think about it. So again, we have red, white, green. So, but I'm not going to go write down red, write down what's white and green because we're not interested in those. Since you want both red beads in the first 2 draws, both must be red. Alright, so the first red bead drawn is 4/6. Because we're replacing it, we still have 6 beads in total for the second one. And then it's another 4/6 for the second red bead. All in all, 2/3 times 2/3 equals to 4/9. Is there any other way? Answer is no. Alright, because there's only one way to get both red, and there's no addition principle to be used down here because there's only one way, unlike in B, where there are two ways, red, white, or white then red. All right, so the final answers for each is 2/3, 4/15, and 4/9. All right, so I hope this brings a clearer picture to the multiplication and addition principle. And I'll see you in the next part where we're looking at the idea of counting cases. All right, see you guys around.